And welcome to a very special episode of the Sarah Seams podcast. I'm here with my friend Jess, who gets mentioned on every episode of the podcast ever. You've probably been like, who is this person? Well, here she is. I am visiting her in North Carolina, and we have had a knitty weekend. We've been to multiple yarn stores. We have been knitting a lot, knitting during the Olympics, going through Jess's yarn stash. So, do you want to tell them how we met, or should I?
You can go for it.
Okay, so we met through Shop La Mercerie does their summer sock, or not summer sock. I'm getting
Winter Wishes sock swap.
Thank you. Yes, the sock swap around the holidays. If you hear some shuffling, it's our friend Osmo in the background. We'll put a video of him in so you can see him. Yeah. He's a very sweet baby. We love him. But yes, so La Mercerie hosts the Winter Wishes sock swap where you get paired up with like a random person and you exchange a gift box with sock yarn and other goodies. And we got paired up, was that almost 2 years ago?
2 Decembers ago.
So this year it would be 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And just kind of hit it off. But also Jess is the reason I have a podcast because
I made a video.
Yes, she made an amazing video.
Because I got her, I'm a gift giver.
Yes.
So I got so many things that I was like, well, I want to explain everything that's in here. So I made her like this 20-minute long video.
It literally made me cry. It was like the most thoughtful thing I've ever received in my life.
And then she was like, yeah, I've been thinking about doing a podcast. Maybe I should just do this. This is great.
And then I started it like a week later, very impulsively. And here we are. We're still waiting on Jess's podcast. You need to peer pressure her into start. Well, no. But yeah, so that's how we met. So if you are trying to make knitting friends, I feel like events like that are like a great way to do it. And here we are a year and a half later, hanging out in person, having a knitty weekend. So we are going to talk a little bit about some works in progress, of which we both have like 100, but we're just going to share a couple. And then some of the yarn we've bought since I've been here. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Great.
All right, why don't you go first, because I think you have a few more whips to share than I do.
I realized we didn't bring any finished objects, but that's okay.
That's okay.
So we both just finished socks. Sorry about the squeaking. And
it's okay.
He's a large dog. So I just finished a vanilla sock.
Yes. So pretty.
I didn't use a pattern, just my vanilla sock recipe. This is a nylon sock set from Sorella Yarn. They're a local to me indie dyer they dye in Apex, North Carolina, and this is 80/20 superwash merino wool nylon as mini set. And this is the Daisy Jones colorway. It was from their Knitflix.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it has this like almost self-striping.
I thought it was self-striping when I first saw it.
Micro stripe.
Show us your cute bag.
This is a cute bag from 5 to 6 Organized Knits. If you're looking for a project bag, this is their extra small sock bag. It's perfect for a pair of socks. It's nice and sturdy. It's got interior pockets. I don't have it with me. I think it's over there. But I have their...
Okay, sorry, we had an Osmo incident and knocking the camera over. We're back.
Yeah, so I have their interchangeable needle organizer set, which is just amazing. If you're looking to give yourself a nice treat to up your knitting life, highly recommend. But these are great bags.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen you using them on like Zooms, but in person they're so like sturdy and like well supported.
Right, and could I sew something like this? Sure, but
do we want to?
No, it's a great bag.
Yeah. Okay, should I do my sock?
Yeah.
All right, I just finished this like an hour or two ago. So I'm working my way through Summer Lee's sock project book, and I have now come to the ombre like faded socks. And I guess you probably just saw it, so I'll just show you. This is the first one I just finished. So it kind of goes from like a minty green to like a rusty brown, and there are 4 different minis that I'm using. They're all from Hue Loco, and they all look a mess now. Here's the first one. Second one. Third. And this is the last one. And the fade is super easy to do, and honestly the instructions in the book are pretty much just for a vanilla sock, and she tells you to like fade in the new color. Here's how you might do it, but there's not like a specific fade instruction. So I kind of just made up my own striping pattern. It is interesting, the minis like pooled differently, so especially in the toe you can see there's like a lot of pooling on this side, whereas like this side you get the fade a little bit better. So kind of fun. They turned out a little wacky, but fun to knit. These are going to be for Troy. It's a 60 stitch sock, top down, 2x2 cuff, heel flap and gusset. Pretty basic, but yeah, start the second one. I was going to start the second one on this trip, but now I have 100 other things I want to cast on, so we'll see if I get to it. But what else you got?
Okay, if you'll indulge me and let me show you
I love this project
a long-term whip. This is Tane Casey.
Oh yeah, I've heard people talking about them.
I got you one.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the purple one.
Yeah. It's like
The purple. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I never look at the label, but yes, I love it. Maybe that's where I've heard it when you were talking about it.
This is a great like. I think it's a good sweater. It's maybe snug for like a big sweater, but I love a draw. I don't know. I love a drawstring. I love a zipper.
Yes.
Good pockets. I like this one, can fold down well. Did I pattern test this?
I think you did.
I think I did.
Yeah.
This is the Mila pullover by Sorry Nordland. And I pattern tested it. This is beautiful all over cable.
So pretty.
Texture, and the yarn I'm using is our favorite, Camellia Fiber Co. Yak DK. This is chocolate.
I've also knit a sweater in this color, and it is one of my favorite yarns ever.
It is just pure luxury. And I knit the sleeves, which is a big deal for me. I have a handful of sweaters, fewer than I used to, where I've knit this whole sweater and it sat for 1 to 3 years waiting for sleeves. So I knit the sleeves.
Very proud.
But I need to finish the body, obviously, and I'm now here telling you and you that I will finish this.
She's gonna finish it
before this winter. But I love this
because you're gonna want to wear it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's beautiful.
The cable texture, it's simple. It's not complicated, but I can't knit more than like 6 rows of the full body rounds on the time. I feel like my hands are done.
Yeah, that's fair, because it's DK, but it's like a heavier.
There's cables every even numbered round, so it's a lot of cables.
I think Sorry just released the best version of that yesterday.
Oh yeah,
also very pretty.
Yeah.
All right, why don't you do another one?
Okay, here's something. I cast on 2 sweaters yesterday. I'll start with the one I cast on yesterday morning.
So one thing we did yesterday was spend like at least an hour or 2 going through Jess's yarn stash, which is completely glorious. She is sending me home with a bunch of things she didn't want anymore, which I'm not going to share all of them, but as I use them, I'll be sure to share them. So you'll continue getting your shout outs on the podcast. Yeah. But we pulled out like a bunch of things that she really wanted to work with soon and like spent a while picking projects for them, which was very fun. And this was one of
so
those.
We found these 2 yarns. I have 4 skeins of this and 2 of this. So they're both DK. They're not quite enough for a sweater for me, but then we kind of held them together and it was like,
yes.
Oh my gosh. So these are both by my absolute favorite yarn dyer ever. If I had to choose one, Granui Co. She's based in Canada, right?
I think so.
This colorway is 3 Sisters, and this one is Gormenghast. Her colors are just so earthy and rich and saturated. I love everything that she dyes. So I had 4 of these and 2 of these. So the plan is to have this as the main body of a sweater and this as like the cuffs and ribbing and everything. And I cast on yesterday for a Stickless Stick Season by Rebecca Clow.
It looks so pretty knitted
It
up.
is really difficult to hold it when it's so small.
Teamwork. Yeah,
but you can see the brown speckles and like the darker blue speckles. It's just so gorgeous. This is a drop shoulder design. And I followed Sarah's influence and I did not swatch for a better fit.
I'm such a bad influence. I am such a meticulous planning kind of tedious person in most aspects of my life, but with knitting I'm like, whatever, we're just casting on and going for it.
I was totally
I'm a bad influence.
No, it's just funny to she is such a planner, but then when it comes down to it, she's like, yeah, let's just do it.
Yes.
So it was great, but I'm so excited about this. And I do a lot of reading and knitting. And so this is just stockinette basically. So I'm excited. I can read and knit while doing this.
I feel like it's going to work up really quickly. You did that in I don't know, at less than an hour last night.
Probably,
maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was just last night.
Just while we were watching the opening ceremony. Very excited about that one. Okay. And then the only other thing I really have been working on since we came is a handspun project. So my first real handspun project that wasn't an emotional support chicken. I finished this spin during Tour de Fleece. So it is a 2-ply. The solid white is a undyed white targhee, and the colored ply is Stone and Amethyst on Falkland from Three Waters Farms. Really pretty. It turned out really, really soft. It's kind of thick and thin. I would say on average, it's probably a DK weight on average, but it really is kind of all over the place. And I cast this on as a road trip project on the way down here. And I am knitting Andrea Mowry's Traveler Cowl. And here's what I have so far. So I'll try and, there we go. This stitch pattern really is perfect for handspun yarn. It just evens everything out and kind of hides all the imperfections. I'm really, really pleased with how the color is working up. I think it's fading really nicely. And I started this with the intention of giving it as a gift, but I'm kind of loving it so much I might have to keep it. So we'll see. But yeah, I'd really recommend this. I don't find the pattern, now that I'm quite a ways into it, I'm kind of I can tell by what I'm looking at what the next row is supposed to be, but it's not the most intuitive pattern for me. It kind of alternates between stockinette and garter to create those ridges. But I think it's worth it. The texture is so nice. I think it'll be really pretty as a cowl. And it's kind of worked on the bias, so it'll come around like this, and the ridges go on the bias at a 45-degree angle. So I'm definitely not even halfway through it yet, but just started it in the car on the way down here.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's interesting. I heard you say this was thick and thin, on one of your episodes when you first talked about this.
Yeah.
But I feel looking at it, I don't see that until you said it. It's just funny, we're so much more critical, or...
I feel it knits up so differently than it looks up.
It does not, it doesn't, it knits up really evenly.
Yeah, because in the ball, you see these chunkier bits, that's a really chunky piece, but even these parts, when you're knitting it and it's under tension, they just kind of even out more. So
cool.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. I know everybody's having a handspun craze, but there is something very satisfying about knitting with yarn that you made. And
awesome.
Just seeing how it actually works up versus how it looks in the skein. So
that's cool.
Yeah, keep working on that. That's all I got for whips.
Okay, I cast on one more thing yesterday morning before we spent hours going through all of my yarn.
I didn't influence this one.
No, this one was planned. Doesn't it look amazing?
Yes.
I mean,
here,
gorgeous.
let me help you hold it. You want to make sure they can see the whole thing.
Here's my swatch, because I
That's
do
wonderful.
knitting swatches.
Blasphemy.
This yarn is Fuzzy Peach Fibers. This is a fairly new indie dyer out of California. This is their Dreamy Decay base, 100% superwash merino. And this is the colorway Senna. It's a bright chartreuse.
It's a light chartreuse. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's lighter than what I imagined when it came, but I still really like it.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
So I'm making the Latte cardigan by Kristen Joel. It's a nice oversized cozy cardigan with big pockets. It is pieced and it is knit bottom up.
I can put a picture in over my face.
Yeah. But I love this texture. I actually several years ago I knit the Brooklyn tweed Harlow, which is like a V-neck oversized. And it's like, I think it's the same stitch pattern.
Is it like a broken rib or?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But
is this the right side or is this the
no?
right side?
So on the Brooklyn tweed one, this was the right side, and on this pattern, this is the right side.
So it's the more like stitchy side.
That sweater, unfortunately, that was before I swatched, and it came out way too big. But
I think that was a reason.
I gave it to a friend, and it looks great on her. So
see, even if it doesn't work out for you, you can always give it, because it's not like we're gonna stop knitting sweaters.
That friend has like 3 or 4 sweaters that I didn't swatch for.
Sounds like a lucky friend.
Yeah, but I'm excited for this. I think I'll wear it a lot. I mean, I've been knitting for like almost 20 years, and not, how much I've knit in that time period has changed a lot, but somehow I own like 3 cardigans. That's it.
Yeah, I only have one.
And I really would like more cardigans. So one of the places where I work, my office can be really cold all the time. So, cardigan.
You need one to leave there. You need one for yeah.
But so I'm excited about this one.
Well, tell us a little bit about the cast on, because it's kind of wild.
Yeah. So this is a tubular cast on, and I love a tubular cast on bind off. Everything. I will do a sewn tubular bind off. I don't mind taking time to do the finishing. Mm-hmm. But this is like you cast on waste yarn. I don't know how much I can tell about this.
I think as long as you don't give like stitch counts and stuff.
Okay. So you cast on waste yarn, and then you knit a certain number of rows, and then you put the live stitches from the waste yarn on another needle, and then you actually fold this tiny, tiny, tiny bit of knitting. And then you like end up doing the ribbing from these 2 needles. Like you're literally knitting a tiny tube. It's pretty fiddly. I like the long tail cast on. I don't know what it's called. I've just done it so many times.
Mm-hmm.
It's not long tail cast on.
It's the
it's the tubular long tail cast on, where you have like the setup rows and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe normally I just do that, but I thought I'll give it a try. And this is the back piece, so it's the biggest cast on. So I'm getting the most annoying one over with.
So you're gonna have to do this 2 more times though, right?
4? Because the
sleeves are the same way?
I assume so.
That's nuts.
Yeah, because it's bottom up and pieced.
This thing's going to be a labor of love, but it will be worth it, I think.
But my favorite cardigan, the Wisteria one that I made in Rowan Soft Yak TK, that is knit bottom up and pieced. And it is like one of the favorite things I've ever knit in my life. I love wearing it. I made it like 8 years ago, and it's held up great. So I feel like it'll be worth it.
Yeah, just a labor of love.
But yeah. So those are it's another sweater I cast on yesterday.
Yeah. Was that your 4? Or did you have one more?
That's on my
That's
whips.
it? Okay.
Well,
LOL.
That's all my whips I brought over here.
I have never had as many whips in my life as I have right now.
Whips are great. They don't go bad.
Okay, so should we show some of our purchases?
Yeah, let's talk about where we went.
Why don't you tell us about the first... I'll have you tell us about both of them because they're local for you, but tell us about the first place.
Yeah, so first we went to this pretty new store. They've been open 8-9 months called Oak City Fibers. They're in North Raleigh. If you're in North Carolina, check them out. The owner, Glenn, is super nice.
Oh my gosh, never have I had such a southern hospitality welcome in my life.
Yeah, he has
so nice.
He has a great North Carolina accent.
Yes.
But he's super nice. He has a great story. You should totally check them out on Instagram. And they had a good selection of their store was divided, like one side. You have some video, I think.
I do. I think I will have put that in before.
Cool. So one side was commercial and one side was indie. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting. It was organized alphabetically by dyer. And then within that by weight. So it's like I was looking for sport weight yarn. Mm-hmm. I knew exactly what yarn I was looking for, the dyer, so I could find it. But it was like oh, this is a little different, but
Yeah.
hey, that's cool. But it seems like a very welcoming community space.
Oh yeah, they would definitely help you find exactly what you needed. But I do think in general, it's if you know what you're looking for, it's a little bit easier to shop by weight. But it did make the store very pretty to have it like by Dyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had knitting for Olive, they had Sandus Garn. They also
Moondrake.
had they had a good like price range. And that's kind of how the store was a little bit too. It was like your like Baroccos on when you come in, and then like your Sandus Garn and your knitting for Olive, and then you kind of had like the indie
Farmer's
Dyers, Farmer's Daughter. Yeah, so they had a really good assortment. Okay. Oh, why don't you
was the
show
first one.
the thing that we both got?
Oh yeah, so we both got their special store color. Colorway Happy Day from Magpie Fibers and their Swanky sock. It's this beautiful Carolina light blue with like, I guess reddish orange and like pinky purple speckles. And I don't know I kind of know off the top of my head the owner's story, but I don't know it well enough. I don't want to like misquote it.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't really get to, he kind of mentioned it, but didn't really say.
Yeah, I think he had some like difficult medical past and is just really grateful for
like
every day that he
that.
has. Yeah. So the colorway Happy Day. I mean, when he was telling us about it, he was like, I've got chills.
Yeah, he was like getting emotional. He said Happy Day is kind of his like catchphrase or motto. Yeah.
So Swanky Sock is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And gorgeous. I've knit like 3 sweaters with this base. And I love it so much. It's so soft. It is 400 yards, 115 grams.
Oh.
So we each got a skein of that. Yeah. We'll make some matching socks.
Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, so maybe show this.
Yes. So the specific yarn I was looking for. I was looking for Kelborn Woolen's Camper. And I got it in this colorway, which is Oatmeal Heather.
I was going to say it's very oatmeal-y.
Yeah. I was looking for this because Sarah used this in her Alpine Bloom. And I am planning on making an Alpine Bloom tee. That's by Caitlin Hunter. And I got it to go with this spin cycle.
Oh, it's so pretty. Which this is also a North Carolina yarn store exclusive, right?
Yes, this is Eventide, which is one of the 2 exclusive colorways to Black Mountain Yarn Shop, which is in Black Mountain, North Carolina. It's in the mountains, like west of here.
It's so pretty.
I just got 2 of these when I was there. I was there on tour. I'm a musician. I was on tour in the mountains. And I like made this really quick pit stop. I was like, what should I buy? Hey guys, I need some yarn. And they're like, have you tried this spin cycle? Yeah. Give me it, I
feel like if you're quick on time, the custom colorway for the shop is always like a good choice.
Yeah. And it was great picking it out in person because I got these 2 that were just really well matched. And it's just so beautiful. You could pair it with like any color, but I really wanted it to pop.
Yeah, I think that's going to look so nice.
So I'm going to make an Alpine Bloom tee.
We can match.
Yeah.
And one of the projects I had on my list to shop for was a Doppio, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember the name of the designer, so I'll put it on the screen, and I can put in a picture too real quick over Jess's face. So this is, I think it's a raglan. I can't remember anything about it. It's a raglan. It's knit at a bulky weight, but the idea is that you hold 3 different strands together to get this kind of marled look, and I love marling, and I'm on a marling kick. So I bought yarn to make a Doppio. So the first color I was kind of drawn to was this one, which is by Leading Men Fiber Arts. It is their Showstopper base. The color is Only Have Eyes for You, but it's like EWE. Yeah. We love a pun. 100 grams, 463 yards, so it's a pretty light fingering, but it's just kind of a light pink to cream base with all kinds of fun speckles. And I at first picked up a hot pink to hold with this, and then I was like, I am literally knitting a hot pink and white marled sweater right now. I must be stopped. So then I grabbed this one instead. So it's a bit dark, but hopefully I can brighten it up in editing. So this is Ryan yarn, which I think I've actually purchased before at a yarn store in Savannah, and then immediately forgot the brand and never mentioned it again. The color is Queen of Shadows. This is their twist sock base. So those 2 together. And then, if you want to show the mohair, I got some pink mohair to hold with them. So I think it's going to read a little bit darker and a little bit more multi and fluffy than the Linto that I'm knitting right now. I think they'll have very different vibes. I mean, probably not that different, but it's fine. So yes, that's my fun Doppio project.
Awesome.
And that should be a pretty quick knit. So
Yeah.
when I cast off the Linto, I'll probably cast this one on next.
Cool.
Did we get anything else there?
I got this.
Oh, yes.
So I have no plans in mind for this, but they had Moondrake, which I think I've only seen Moondrake in person at Black Mountain Yarn.
Yeah,
Yarn
I don't
Shop.
think I ever have.
Yeah, this is their Chibi light sport weight, 100% superwash 2-ply, 370 yards for 100 grams, and this is the colorway dark navy.
Yeah, that might not come across super well on screen.
Not, but it is just the most beautiful saturated dark navy.
It is really dark.
And I do not have any navy yarn in stash, so I felt like, I needed a sweater quantity.
Yeah. She was like, can you confirm after seeing my entire stash that I do not have any navy? It is, that color specifically, I think would look good on literally everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is a very universal shade. It's very pretty.
It's almost like very slightly mottled, like black
and like teal almost. Yeah.
It's
very pretty.
Hopefully some of it comes off, but it's beautiful.
You could do a Doppio.
Well, I have that purple yarn for a Doppio.
You could put it with that.
I have other purple yarn to go with my Doppio.
She has like 9 Doppio quantities.
I don't have a lot of mohair.
Was that all we got there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, why don't you tell us about the second place?
All right, so the second place is called Great Yarns. They're in Raleigh, North Carolina. Great Yarns is a really special place to me. I have known the owner, Pam, since I was like 16, and she is the reason why I started knitting.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so I used to dance and when I was a kid, and Pam's daughter and I danced together, and Pam would like sit in the lobby of our dance studio knitting, and I had already been sewing for a few years at that point, and one day I was like, all right, that's it. I gotta learn how to do this. You gotta tell me.
Her doing it.
Yeah. So I ended up like checking out a book at the library and getting some yarn from Knit Picks. But she was just like, here's a pattern to start with. Here, go to this website, Ravelry.
Have you ever?
And I guess at some point she worked at this yarn store, and then like 8 years ago, she and her husband bought it. And it is my local yarn store. It's the closest one to me. And it's like, I just feel so good when I go in there, because I go in and it's, no matter what she's doing. Today she was teaching a crochet class. She's Jessica.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we both lived in New York for a while, and I remember in grad school I like applied to work at a couple of yarn stores just as a part-time job, and they all were like, do you even know how to knit? Like, can you even read a pattern? It was like, yes. And it just feels really good to go in there
and be like welcome.
Yeah.
She was so sweet. Like, and the place is very, very cute too. And they had a great selection as well.
Yeah. So she's great. And I mean, in the past, I'll need like one more ball of yarn to finish a project. She's like, I'll buy 8 new colors in that yarn, and now they carry it in the store. And it's just a place where you feel very welcome.
Yeah.
So it's a special place in my heart.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I got to go there with you.
Yeah.
It was very cool to see. So what did we get there? Do you want to go for I just got the one big thing, so
sure.
That's what you got.
Sure. I got one skein of this, which is Queen City Yarns Coleman. It's 65% silk, 35% linen, 150 grams, 245 yards, colorway linen skirt.
I didn't realize it was 65% silk. It's super nice.
Yeah, it's super nice.
I wish I would have got some of that.
I already have 3 skeins of this that I got from Great Yarns, and I want to make that, I cannot remember the name, the new Hohi Locatelli tank top with the lace on the side.
Put it on the screen. Yeah.
I'm kind of like, depending on what size I make, I could use 3 or 4, and I was like,
better safe than sorry.
Yeah, they only had 3 when I purchased the first one, so. This Queen City Yarns is based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte is the Queen City. And Oak City Fibers, Raleigh is the city of oaks. So
there you go.
North Carolina trivia.
Now everybody knows. Okay, so one other thing I was shopping for on my list was yarn to make a sibling sweater by Laura Penrose, which is a really pretty classic, like striped drop shoulder sweater. And I've been looking for yarn for this for a while. It's kind of been in the back of my mind, and I saw this and it kind of like clicked. So I'm going to be using these two Madeline Tosh colorways. This one is called Calligraphy, and this one is called Composition Book Gray, which are very fun together. They are both on, what's the base? Farm Twist base. It's 100% superwash merino. And this is going to be my main color. So I have 6 skeins of this, and then this is going to be my contrast color. So I have 4 skeins of this.
I just noticed the colorway names.
Right? Calligraphy.
Did you just say that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting hungry.
It's almost time for dinner. It's okay. We've been talking about yarn a lot. But yeah, I feel like they're really pretty. I love this one. It's kind of just like a soft, like pastel-y gray, kind of variegated color. So those are going to be I almost said stripe pipe.
Sibling sweater.
Thank you. It's an unusual name, and I think that's why I always forget it. But yes, a sibling sweater. And then you were just saying you might make one too, right?
Yeah, I have this J'adore Fibers Acorn Tweed DK. I only have
so pretty.
4 skeins, and she's not dying anymore. I bought this in a D-stash.
Oh, well, that would be just enough for your contrast color.
Right, so it's not enough for me to make a full sweater in DK, but I was in there earlier, and I was like, you know what? I should make a sibling sweater too.
Twins, I think with like black or even like a beige.
Mm-hmm. Because
the main color.
Yeah, the tweed flecks are like black and beige.
That would be so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, show us your last thing.
All right, so I was looking for a sweater quantity for a toddler. So a superwash DK weight, and I found this beautiful blue-green yarn. This is Fiber Spates Vivacious DK. It is 100% superwash merino. The colorway is sea green.
It is so pretty. It's like very vibrant.
Just like happy for a kid. And so I'm gonna make the Hannah cardigan, which Sarah just made for her friend who had a kid.
Yes.
So I'm gonna make this for my friend who had a kid.
It's a really fun pattern.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And you're gonna do like the 2 to 3 size also, right? Or are you?
I think so.
Yeah.
He's turning 1 in November, but both his parents are at least 6 feet tall, and he's already wearing 1 year size clothes.
Yeah, let him grow into it.
I want him to be able to wear it for more than 1 year. You know, it might be a cardigan dress.
Yeah, the one I knit recently, I just got a picture of my friend's son wearing it, and it looks like a dress on him. I was afraid it was going to be too small after I saw him, so, you know, better safe than sorry.
Definitely grow into it.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. We also got...
Oh, yeah. We got these bags at Great Yarn as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this was kind of a last-minute grab. Jess spotted these. It was a really great deal. I think it was like $26 for 2 bags. So the large size, these are
medium size.
The Delique O Snap. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like a black-brown mesh base, and then it has these pretty rainbow stripes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you got, is that the little one?
Yeah, it's the smaller one.
The big one, and then the little one was inside of it, and they came as a set. And these are super nice. I mean, there's 10 skeins of yarn in here. And there's still room for like needles and pattern and whatever else I would need. So yeah, these are awesome. And now I have matching bags too. Yeah. So the story is we're making matching everything and we have matching bags. But no, it's been a very fun, it's been a very fun visit and we'll have to do it more often. So it's nice to have a knitting buddy.
Yeah.
Is that everything?
Shockingly,
Surely
I think
we're
so.
forgetting something, but
I mean, we could show my whole yarn stash and be here for hours and hours.
Maybe next time. We should have done a time lapse of us like going through all of it.
That would have been great.
Because you knit, you sew, you are like very multi-craftual as well.
I've been doing them all for a long time.
Yeah.
So, you know, you collect things. And yarn and fabric don't go bad.
They don't. And they don't even take up any room, right? No. Anyway, so yes, that is all we're going to share today. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you saw something new. You know, these are certainly like new shops to me, some new yarns that I don't get to see very often. And now everyone knows who Jess is when I mention her on all the podcasts. So Thanks for coming on with me.
Thanks for visiting.
Thanks for having us and doing yarny stuff with
Hey.
me. And we'll probably put a little more footage of the rest of our visit in after this, so I hope you'll stick around for that.
And my dog.
And Osmo. Yes. So
he's adorable.
he's the goodest boy. He is
Yeah,
very sweet.
He's a good boy.
All right. Bye.